the public, I'd first ask my fellow commissioners to indulge me with a few remarks.
Sure.
Is there a consensus on this?
Oh, please.
Okay. As of last Friday, I was fully prepared to act on this first agenda item tonight, which is to consider the contract for sale and purchase of Old School Square retail space. But over the weekend, I became aware of additional information which, if true, is very disturbing to me and should be disturbing to everyone in this room and every taxpayer in Delray Beach. All of us on the commission care about the arts in this city. Old School Square is the cornerstone of our cultural redevelopment and economic revival. This commission and the commissions before us have spent millions of dollars to make sure the arts thrive in our community, and they do. I am the immediate past president of the Creative City Collaborative and was its chair when the Arts Garage evolved into what it is today. I am a regular patron at the Arts Garage, and I do not need to be educated about what the Arts Garage does for Pineapple Grove and for Delray. I know too well. I am one of you. But I am also the mayor. And what concerns me is the manufactured crisis that is before us today. And I will never support government by hysteria or intimidation. The crisis that is before us was not caused by the commission who put this space out to bid in October 2008, long before any of us were on the commission. They put it out for sale, open to all uses that are allowed in the downtown, including office use. Likewise, the crisis is not the fault of this law firm, who was totally within its rights to make the city an offer. They operated in good faith to what the city said it wanted for the property. Finally, this crisis is not the fault of the Arts Garage, who is trying to keep a successful location in Pineapple Grove. This crisis seems to be the fault of the CRA, and let me tell you why. This law firm currently employs 85 people in Pineapple Grove. Their business is growing so fast that they need to expand to accommodate 200 employees, and that is why they need the garage space. This law firm operates in 7 states, and this is their national headquarters.
Oh, God.
Clients and other attorneys that are doing business with this firm fly in all the time and use the Hyatt and our restaurants while they are here. When this law firm learned that the Arts Garage had a benefactor to purchase the garage space so that the Arts Garage could remain in that space, this law firm contacted the CRA and asked for help in finding another location so that they could stay in Delray. They offered to build an office building on West Atlantic Avenue next to the new hotel that is going to be built there. They were rebuffed by the CRA, and the reason given was that the West Atlantic Redevelopment Coalition, known as WARC, had to weigh in on the matter, and that they would not be meeting for another 30 days. WARC, who along with the neighborhood most affected, are in support of this law firm's efforts to relocate on West Atlantic, and stated to the CRA that they would meet the next day and asked the CRA to help make this happen. And they refused. That is why we have this crisis today. What is more troubling, and this saddens me to say, is that I also learned that previously 2 other groups approached the CRA about acquiring the West Atlantic site, a movie theater and an architect's firm, and both were rebuffed as well. One of those said that the CRA hinted that this site was reserved for another project. Reserved? Is this something this is something that the CRA board was not aware of? Isn't it the obligation of the CRA staff to bring forth potential proposals for consideration even if the project weren't anticipated in the master plan? After all, this site failed to get a buyer after 2 previous RFPs. So tonight, instead of choosing a winner and loser, we should be working together to make sure we have 3 winners. This law firm, the Arts Garage, and our city. This is an economic development issue. After other commissions lost the national headquarters of Office Depot and the Costco to Boca, I cannot sit by and watch these 85 current jobs and the 115 new jobs leave our town. I will not do it. By the way, this law firm has promised to give a local preference to these 115 new jobs. I do not want to send a message that Delray is not friendly to business. Economic development is a top priority for all of us. Everyone keeps talking about bringing jobs to the city. The Delray Beach Tribune recently printed the top priorities of each of the candidates running for office this year. Each candidate has put job creation as a top priority. Well, if we do this right, we can keep the Arts Garage and have the 200 jobs remain in the city where they belong. So here's what I propose. I propose that this hearing be postponed until we find an alternative site to expand inside our city. You should know that as I say this, The law firm is appearing in front of the Boynton Beach CRA, who is offering to give them everything they want to get those 200 jobs. That is why this is important. The reason we need to postpone it is because the law firm had to file papers with the Internal Revenue Service this past Friday, identifying what site they were buying for tax purposes. Because the CRA would not work with them, they only identified the Arts Garage in Delray, a piece of property in downtown Boynton, and a piece of property in Broward County. They could have just as easily identified a site on West Atlantic Avenue, thereby avoiding this situation and the now manufactured crisis. I want a little time to work with this law firm to see if we can find them a different piece of property quickly, and then do what needs to be done so they can legally buy that property, given the IRS regulations. A solution may be to sell the current Arts Garage space to Mr. Schmier, so that the Arts Garage can stay at their present location, and at the same time, sell the Puppet Museum space to this law firm, with the understanding that the Puppet Museum can finish out their lease in 2 years. If that proves agreeable to all parties, maybe we can be back here in a couple of weeks. By the way, the law firm has agreed to this proposal, so it's now up to the Arts Garage and Mr. Schmier. If we vote to sell the Arts Garage tonight, we will lose 200 jobs in our city, guaranteed, not maybe. If we postpone it, we have a chance at having both the Arts Garage and the jobs. Some people have tried to politicize this important decision. I cannot do that. The job of this commission is to find solutions which are in the best interest of this entire city. And this includes job creation. This includes promoting the arts. This commission's role needs to be solution-driven and not politically driven. I ask that we all look at this issue and find a solution that works for everyone. A win-win for Delray is what we all want. Since there are over 2 years left on the Arts Garage lease, there should be no crisis over waiting another 6 weeks. I appreciate the commission indulging me on this, and I apologize for the written remarks, but I wanted to be clear as I could about where we are, how we got here, and what is at stake. I would entertain a motion and second to postpone this hearing to April 16th or before.